Britain ruled India for about 200 years, a period that was marred with extreme poverty and famine. India's wealth depleted in these 2 centuries.
And Indians are very good at forgiving and forgetting, so they're forgotten as well, which is what I object to. Let them forgive, but let them not forget.
Renowned economist Utsa Patnaik, who has done a research on the fiscal relations between colonial India and Britain, has tried to answer a question many Indians are likely to be interested to know: how much money did Britishers take away from India? Patnaik, in her essay published in Columbia University Press recently, said Britain drained out over $45 trillion from India, which to date has hampered the country's ability to come out of poverty. Britain exported food grains and imposed high taxes, which spread famine in India and reduced its purchasing power. As per The Economist, per capita annual consumption of food, which was 200 kilograms in 1900, went down to 137 kilograms during World War II in 1946. India, the world's 5th largest economy, is soon to become the most populous country on earth. Its abundant workforce is a major contributing factor to its economic success. In contrast to many countries struggling with aging populations and outdated skills, India's workforce is young and highly productive. This manpower has allowed India to capitalize on global events and opportunities that others may see as problems. In recent years, India has made headlines by attracting many manufacturing jobs that were previously held by China. With China's intense period of economic growth appearing to come to an end, it appears that it is India's turn to take the mantle as the world's workshop and reap the benefits that come with it. This aligns with the Indian government's plan to have a $5 trillion economy by 2025, though there is still much work to be done to reach this goal. India is set to overtake Japan and Germany to become the world's 3rd largest economy, according to S&P Global and Morgan Stanley. S&P's forecast is based on the projection that India's annual nominal gross domestic product growth will average 6.3% through 2030. Similarly, Morgan Stanley estimates that India's GDP is likely to more than double from current levels by 2031. Multinationals are more optimistic than ever about investing in India, and the government is encouraging investment by both building infrastructure and supplying land for factories. Morgan Stanley said, "We believe India is set to surpass Japan and Germany to become the world's 3rd largest economy by 2027 and will have the 3rd largest stock market by the end of this decade. India will be one of only 3 economies in the world that can generate more than $400 billion annual economic output growth from 2023 onward, and this will rise to more than $500 billion after 2028. India is also poised to become the factory to the world as corporate tax cuts, investment incentives, and infrastructure spending help drive capital investments in manufacturing. India began laying the foundation for a more digital economy more than a decade ago, with the launch of cashless transactions been instrumental in digitizing financial transactions, among other benefits. Top 5 economy in the world. First of all, if we talk about the USA, it comes first in the top 5 economies in the world. In this regard, let us make it clear to you that according to the top 5 economies in the world, the GDP of the USA is $23 trillion. In this sequence, the second place comes from China. The GDP of the China is $17 trillion. In the same sequence, if we talk about Japan, the GDP of the Japan is $4.9 trillion. Germany comes at number 4, whose capital is Berlin, and the GDP of the Germany is $4.2 trillion. In this episode, India, whose capital is Delhi, and the GDP of the India is $3.5 trillion, leaving behind the UK recently. It took India 60 years since independence to become $1 trillion economy, but the next $1 trillion was added only in 7 years. The third trillion was added in just 5 years in 2019. The growing momentum could see India add on average $1 trillion to its economy every 2 years for the next 14 to 15 years. According to the report of the Center for Economics and Business Research, India will become a $10 trillion economy by 2035